You know, sometimes people just make mistakes. Sean Murray and No Man's Sky. Peter Molyneux with Fable 3.
Like you and your beard.
Don't worry about it. Don't let him get to you.
This though, well, this is a mistake and a half.
Skyforge is a free-to-play action MMO developed by a Russian development team, Alods, and you can find it on PC and PlayStation 4. It's a game where players bid to become space gods by taking part in console-inspired dynamic action combat. What's not to like that? Recently, there was a gameplay event called All for Science, in which players were tasked with defeating a ton of aliens, all for science. Completing this event within the time limit led to players being given an augmentation seal. Now, you might want to remember that because it's the most important part of this whole shit show.
And that's important actually. There's a lot of words and phrases in here that are going to be not relevant to you at all unless you play a lot of the game. But this, from a consumer point of view, this is such an unbelievable story. Pay attention anyway.
So the augmentation seal gives the player's in-game character a stat boost. A huge one. It's a 42 times multiplier. So for example, say you deal 100 damage of your attack. Well, with the seal, you can now deal 4,200 damage. No one would argue that the item was overpowered as hell. It would be so damn powerful, it would essentially allow players to complete tasks meant to be done by groups all by themselves.
So, the developers patched the seal. I mean, they nerfed it big style, and they even offered some compensation as well. So what's the problem? Well, they patched it 9 days after the announcement. Because the event was for a limited time, many players had already spent at least $30 of real-world money for in-game credits to get a boost in order to complete the event on time. It was only after 9 days of advertising that the developers nerfed this item. And honestly, I mean, they nerfed this good. How much did they nerf it? Perhaps half the strength? 10% of the strength? No, less than 1%. This item went from a stat multiplier of 42 to 0.25. So that's a big number, and then the second number is very, very small. So
you don't need to know anything about the game to know that that is f***ing bullshit.
Yeah.
42 to not even one number,
Yeah.
0.25.
It's a complete bait and switch. A lot of players would have been working towards this, spending money on boosts and stuff to make sure that they got it within the time limit of the event. They wanted this item bad because it was so unbelievably powerful. And then, then 9 days later, the developer goes, you know what? It's not going to be anywhere near that powerful, actually.
Conveniently for the developers, whilst this was going on, people were rushing for this too good to be true item. They had a little sale on. So you could buy the Argents, which is the name for the in-game currency, at a discounted rate, you know, enticing people to get this item. Which again, 9 days later, they said, you know what? No. This is bullshit. We're thinking about,
that's essentially what they've done. Yeah.
That's it. You know, now I know you're thinking nobody's perfect, Mike. The beard, it all happens. But the important thing to know is, if this was the first time, maybe you'd believe them when they said it was a visual bug, whatever that means. But no, this has happened 3 times in 2017 alone. So you can buy a package on the PlayStation Store for cosmetic items, the Pantheon Wars package. Someone on Reddit bought it because there was a nice item on there, on the thumbnail on the PlayStation Store. They bought it and it was a different item altogether. And then they said, oh, sorry, wrong thing. How can you look at this and not realise how stupid it is? What kind of quality assurance have they got?
Exactly, that's what's kind of shocking to me, just the fact that, you know, you committed to something, you committed to the idea of getting this. Yeah, as you said, it was probably too good to be true. It's ridiculous, like it was so overpowered that you could have done a dungeon, you could have done tasks on your own when otherwise they would need like a whole team of players to be completed. That's how powerful this thing was, but people were still like unsure about it. I mean, there was sending support tickets to the people and asking, you know, is this legit? Am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my money on this by working towards it? They got no reply. They didn't get any reply of them from support tickets. So they went for it. They just went for it, and then the thing got nerfed. And not just nerfed a little bit, it just got completely transformed into something far less powerful.
So with this being said, what's the feedback been? Surely the developers have responded to the fans. Surely something's been done about it, and everyone's been listened to, right? So how did the players react to all this? Well, as you can imagine, shit has hit the fan big time. There's already a boycott planned, there's been threats for lawsuits, and enough refund requests to make your eyes bleed. We spoke to a player in the community who expressed that it's not just his money and time that he's wasted, but his personal reputation too. He says that players were recommending this item to their friends in good faith, and now they look like the idiots. The only official means of discussing this with anybody is via a Google Documents feedback form, or you can join the official Skyforge Discord chat and speak to a mod there who will tell you that there's nothing they can do about it. We've reached out to the game's publisher, My.com, and the developers, Alod's team, and hopefully we will get a response, but at the time of recording, no such response.
If you're a player that's been affected by this, you can create a support ticket, but this is the response that you're going to get. Our team would like to reassure you that the in-game text will be changed to reflect the correct text by the next update. However, no compensation will be provided for changes made to the game that is designed to improve the game's overall balance. Users are of course not happy with this either. One gamer posted on Reddit, and in fact repeated to us directly, no matter how you look at it, this was intentional deceit and false advertising. You overlooked the stat multiplier that was clearly written on the augmentation for 9 days. You can see what the guy's getting at there. Like, it's just disbelief. A disbelief from him and the community at large, really. How can it go on for 9 days? Like you pointed out earlier, Jake.
It was convenient for him.
Exactly, yeah. It's working out very nicely for them. I mean, if we made the mistake on a video and left it up for 9 hours, I would be completely mortified by it. So there's a huge team here. This is a big thing that people have spent money on. And they've left it there for 9 days.
The text is going to be changed in the next update. Means it still hasn't been done now.
Yeah.
So if you're not aware of this and you're just a player on your PS4 who doesn't check the forums and stuff, you might still be thinking that this is the case. Yeah. It's still not been changed now. It's coming later. So they're too busy tweeting about it and having a weekend, but people are still putting real money into it and they still haven't done it now.
This is how it comes across. It's like they're working like, yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
I'm really glad that the games community kind of reached out and recognised that this was an awful thing, and they came to us about this, and Jake's been speaking to a lot of them. He's been in the Discord and stuff in there with them. They're very upset about this, and you should be too. This is kind of a precedent thing for microtransactions, DLC, all that kind of stuff. You buy a weapon based on its stats and then that thing gets nerfed. I mean, that is a thing that's common in so many games. There's so many loot crates and microtransactions these days. This is like a warning. This is the canary in the coal mine, or whatever the phrase is. You know, be wary of this. This is a big deal.
And if they do it this once, who knows? Anytime you're playing this game, they could just decide, we don't want you to have this item anymore. We're going to nerf it. No refunds. So yeah, I just want to say a big thanks to Killy on Facebook, who made me aware of the story. And like Mike just said, I've been in the Discord chatting to people, Traxon in particular, if you're listening. Thanks a lot for giving me all the information I needed so I could sound a little bit less clueless than usual. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so does this make you a little bit more wary about putting money into microtransactions? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff. There's another video right there if you want to watch that right now. And a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.